Hello and welcome to part 21.
Damn.
Old enough to drink.
Yeah.
So a couple things. I started a little earlier than we started recording so I could cook some meals because we don't need to see that. You get it. Right? Like, I don't need to show
It's
it.
not particularly riveting.
But then I also noticed that I'm adjusting my microphone. Sorry if it sounds weird. Not to you, Carlos, to the audience. Uh, and So I was doing here. I went and finished up the Divine Beast quest over there, like in the Rito Village, because we forgot to do that. And then I came over here because I saw this platform, and I was like, I really want to get to the bottom of this. And I was like, maybe there's like something I have to bring it. And then when I came over here, I defeated a bunch of these guys, and then I noticed this white devil.
Is he rare?
Look at his health.
Damn.
And look at this one's health. He has 10 times the health of a blue one.
Wait, where are you?
I'm like right outside the Rito Village.
Oh,
there's a heart there. I didn't notice that before. Yeah. So we're gonna have a battle here, and it'll surely go my way.
this is a sober video, but I'm so pumped after that fucking win. I feel like I'm on crack right now.
That's really bad for the community.
Juliana, literally was like after the game. She's like, "Why are you this happy? Was it that big of a deal?" I'm like, "You know how important." Like the funnier aspect is, again, this is a video of Carlos's Unemployed Chronicles.
Yes.
Oh fuck! I actually got to email that guy today.
Part fucking forever. It feels like.
Yeah. I'm not agreeing to this job, so I'm just gonna. I'll email them tomorrow.
Probably feels more like it to you than to me, to be honest. Like it just keeps going on.
So yeah, I had a job interview this morning at 9 a.m.
It's too early.
And oh my god, I was like low key upset. I'm like, you had me out here full suit
in this weather,
like on the subway. Well, the weather is fine. It's just more of like the principle of like, why am I'm getting up early before your employees to be at this office. So now I'm gonna have to wait for everyone to slowly come into work. And I'm like, who wants to interview someone that early? You're not trying to be.
That's a weird like I don't want to interview that early, let alone be the interviewee. Like, it's ridiculous.
All parties are waking up. You have not both people are working themselves into the interview. It's just like but like it went well. But then like as soon as that interview ended up, man, I was having panic attacks. Wanna know why?
Why?
Because City played today at 3 o'clock. And I was like, Nick, I slept like a baby before this interview. I had no stress. I went in that bitch and I was just like, yes, this is what I do. This is how I do it. I'm a hard worker. No, I'm not. And then as soon as I walk out the door of that interview, I'm just like, oh shit, man, this game's about to happen. Mad stressful.
Real quick, so we have to go and find the ancient brittle or bridle, whatever the fuck it's called, so we can use Epona, because we keep delaying this and I keep forgetting, but this seems like a good time to do it. I know it's vaguely in this area. I checked the map ahead of time. I don't remember exactly where, so we're just gonna kind of explore. I I did find when I was going to grab some durians over in this area, I did find this shrine next to this stable. So we'll do that after as well, and then we'll get back to the plot. I swear.
Okay.
I like
to try to get the motorcycle.
No, do you know how to get the motorcycle? I know how to get it, so I was curious if you knew.
I literally have no idea.
You have to do every single shrine, first of all, which is already, No. You have to do every single shrine, and then I think there's a super boss you have to fight. One of those, like, those things at the end of the shrine, like the shriveled up fucking, like, skeletons? One of them is a boss, a super boss that you fight. And then you unlock the motorcycle afterwards. My problem is, why the fuck would I want to do, like, you go through all of that to unlock the motorcycle, and then I'm like, and then what the fuck am I going to use the motorcycle for? Yeah. I've gotten every shrine. There's nothing left. Like, what's the point?
I know it's a common like conversation in video games of like, oh, why put the super weapon like after a boss or something, to the point where it's like now I don't have anyone to actually use the super weapon on. But I'm like, I legitimately want to be in the room with people and be like, so what's the point?
Well,
Like,
it's one of those weird
explain
things
to me
where, like,
what your thought process was.
so like at least with trophies it makes sense, right? Because if it's like if you're like trying if you have like extra goals, that's like beat the super boss, and then there's like other stuff you can do. So it's like, okay, I'll breeze through the rest with the super weapon or something. That makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense in the game like this because I'm like, there's once you do the shrines, I'm just gonna start a new game. Like what? Why would
True.
Why would I ever do this?
Once you've done all the shrines, what are you gonna do? Just drive the motorcycle very quickly to Hyrule Castle and just be done with the game?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's just such a weird, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand why.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you went through this really hard task, you should be rewarded as such, and that makes sense. But then, like, so what? You could also reward me with, like, a certificate that says good job, and it would be like,
True.
It would equate to the same thing.
An NFT.
No, well, no. Not that. Anything but that. I did not know I was going from one mountain to another, and I feel like I should have, just by looking at this topography. Okay.
What else?
Did we record last week? I don't
I
remember.
think we did. I don't think we've recorded... No, we recorded last week, because I remember talking to you about WrestleMania.
Right, yes. I do remember now. Yeah, we haven't talked in a while. I was pretty quiet this weekend, because I was fucking knee-deep in Resident Evil 4. That game is so fucking good. I can't believe they took a game from my childhood that I was already like, this game is too good. You'll never, like, games will never come close. And then it was like, yeah, watch this shit. And then they did it. I was like, oh fuck. I'm bummed you never got a chance to try Resident Evil 4 or like Village or any of those.
No, I did. I did try Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube.
I think 4 is still like, this is the interesting thing. I think the remake is really good and very faithful to the original, but also I don't think it negates the original. I think you can still play the original, which like is rare. Like I think Final Fantasy VII remake to the extent, but they were like drastically different. Whereas Resident Evil 4 remake is like, they updated the gameplay, they updated the graphics, and they changed a few things around, but also improved it in weird ways. So, it's all around just fantastic. Oh my god, I can't. I'm just so excited to talk more about it. It's just so good. Here's the one thing I don't like with Resident Evil 4, and you may balk at this, and that's fine. I understand.
No black zombies.
Well, it's in Europe, and also you're fighting cultists. Do you want there to be black zombies? Do you want to imply that black people could be won over by a cult? Because I don't think they could. I think they're too strong. I think mentally they're stronger than white people.
No, don't be like that. Anyway.
Is this where you wanted the conversation to go, Carlos?
No. Anyway, explain.
Yeah, so the one thing I don't like about it is that for the platinum, you have to do a minimum of 4 playthroughs, 6 if you want to do it like reasonably. And I'm like, that's a lot. that's a lot. I mean, you can blast through the game in like 4 hours once you've like beaten it a couple times and get like some super weapons and stuff. So it's not like crazy, but it is like, okay, this feels excessive, guys.
That's a lot. Even for a game I really like, and even though I've been fighting the urge to replay Spider-Man for the longest time, I'm like, nah.
But I am enjoying it. Like a ton.
It looks gorgeous.
It's
beautiful.
And it's another thing where it's you have the option to play in performance, or I'm sorry, what is it? Fidelity or performance? I forget what the other one was.
Yeah, fidelity and performance are usually the, because one's in 4K and the one's the frames.
But I think there's both in 4K. It's just one is like 8K.
Okay.
But my big thing is that I'm like, who the fuck is playing on fidelity? Why? I need those. It's you, isn't it? Of course it is.
Depends on the game.
I just default to performance every single time.
I understand. As I've been playing gaming high, I'm more often using the.
Suppose that makes sense. Oh my god, my nemesis is back. Good.
It's
great.
Raining? Oh,
Jesus Christ, dude! It was raining before I started recording. It can't rain all the time. I hate this. I've never noticed how much it rained until I started recording it. Because I can't just wait. I have to fucking make it entertaining. And how the fuck do I make it entertaining when it's raining all the goddamn fucking... So you've noticed since you've started gaming while you're high?
Yeah, that performance at least helps me like keep up. Where fidelity, for some reason, I'm just like, nah, I can't. That one little frame stutters will do enough to just fuck me off my game, and I just will not have any idea how to like do.
It's a very strange choice of words.
Yeah, I hate you. But also,
you said it. What do you mean?
Hey, that's on you.
What do you mean?
I've also, I've been a week clean, so
from
smoking weed at Ben Ken.
Why?
Well, I can't play Elden Ring high.
I was gonna say
it's literally just that. That is literally the only reason.
Oh, we can update on that. You fully because before you were gonna say like, hey, I might I'll give it until the end of the weekend while Juliana's gone in Vegas, and then we'll see if I still like it. And you are fully in there. You were like, I'm an Elden Ring head now. So
I've beaten Stormville Castle,
which is impressive.
Yeah, and now I'm at the Academy. The Academy, from what I've read, is like the worst dungeon.
I think I'm trying to get into the Academy. I think you're now officially ahead of me, but I would suspect I've done more than you though.
No, I understand.
Oh, also real quick, this is for a different quest. You can come here, but this is where the horse armor spawns in as well. There's like a thing where there's like this like big like majestic like stag that you can find here. There's the bridle, but is there another part that I have to worry about? I think it's two parts. It's the saddle and the bridle. Are they in different places? I'm gonna be upset if they are.
I have no idea. What were you looking for?
The Ancient Saddle, Breath of the Wild, 2016.
It can't be worse than me googling where are the fairies.
Right. You just typed into Google, where are the fairies, you fucking idiot. I forgot about that. I wonder where the shrine is here.
Ancient Helm, Ancient Cuirass, Ancient Greaves?
No, that's an armor set. I'm looking for the horse stuff. So, Ancient Saddle.
I typed Ancient Wild, Breath of the Wild. I guess that. Ancient Saddle.
And you're not high.
No. I'm just high on life, man.
You should quit.
Travel a Highland stable near the Khao Makag shrine.
Done that already. It's just telling you to find the rumor, which I've already done.
Okay. Refers to the spring, the Malanya spring, the fountain of the horse god.
I am currently at it.
It is. Wait. Can you zoom back out? Zoom more out. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, it's right there. Wait, yeah, I think it's a bit more southeast, a little bit.
Oh no.
Wait, no, you're in the wrong. Cause them trees ain't showing up on this map I'm looking at.
Oh, hold on. The Ancient Saddle is also an location you may visit before the spring of the horse
putting it
god.
in the.
Starting from Highland Stable, or follow the road west past Heron Lake, then take the next left, cross over the Horse God Bridge, and you'll soon be at Malayanya Spring. You can resurrect horses. Squeeze between the fairy fountain. This is where the final fairy fountain is as well.
Two birds, one stone.
Quite literally. I think I did mark it here, specifically because I knew the fairy fountain was around here somewhere. I wonder if it's here. It doesn't... What does it say on the map? It says... Oh, it's telling you to go to the spring, but it's basically from the Highland Stable, which I don't think I've unlocked. I guess I have. No, that's the outskirts stable. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see. You want to vamp while I
yeah.
Okay,
so...
first of all, vamping is not screaming into the microphone. Jesus Christ.
Yes, it is, you son of a bitch.
People listen to these with headphones. Stop it.
Do they?
Yes, as they've told me multiple times when I yell.
I also watched. I don't know if I told you about this, but I watched that crazy college documentary called Stolen Youth. It's on Hulu. It's about some guy who starts a fucking cult in a college.
I think you told me to watch it. I don't know if you told me
Yeah,
that you watched
you
it.
should. You should. It first started out as like a New York Magazine article, as well as it was also reported in the New York Post. The shit was still ongoing when those stories came out.
I have to.
And then it's only
real quick. I just have to stop and say, I'm looking at this map right now, and I'm like, is this from a different game? Like, how the fuck can't I find anything? Like, I can't. I can't even get my bearings. Like,
did you see the one that I just sent you?
It's buried behind multiple windows because I have to give up a monitor because I'm playing on the actual monitor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too zoomed in, Carlos. That doesn't. That doesn't.
No.
Help me
Okay.
I
thought so. Because I'm saying what I'm.
This is a side quest. What the fuck are we doing? Like.
Who? Like the horse god. Wait. Do you see the Ibra's butt?
Stop it. You're not helping.
It's got to be.
Carlos, here's what we're looking for right now. I'm looking for a big fucking lake with a tower at the top of it. Because that's how I can get my bearings here. I'm looking for Cora Lake. And I don't know where it is.
Look towards Necluda.
Where the fuck is Necluda?
South. Look south. You see Necluda there?
Right.
Look. Right there. See Necluda? Go left. Zoom in a bit more. Go north.
Mount Rizzuto? Is that what you're...
Nah, because I was trying to follow that river to the left over there and see if it feeds into the lake.
I swear this shows Cora Lake and having a tower at the top of it. But where the fuck is Cora Lake? I'm trying to go based on the towers because the towers should be like easily identifiable because okay, wait, here we go. Wow, they just super zoomed in. Holy shit, it was all the way over here. Yeah, it's right here. I can tell just from the map. God, that sucked. That was so out of the that was so zoomed in. Like for reference, this is what the image showed, and I'm like, okay,
not even it was more zoomed in on
this is how big the fucking map is. Like, like you can barely even see this fucking lake. Oh my god! All right.
Anyway,
that was an experience. Also, why is the saddle and the bridle in two different places? What the fuck are we doing here? Answer me, Carlos. Why did they design it this way?
Honestly, sometimes I do wonder, like, headcanon, what the fuck were you doing? Just throwing shit around?
Well, this is DLC, so it wasn't even designed in, like, the actual game. They added the shit later, and they're like, yeah, this seems like a good spot for it. I don't know.
Yes, fuck it.
It reminds me going back to Resident Evil real quick. There's so I'm watching someone play it, and they're doing a blind playthrough, which is always fun. But, like... If you order the super simp edition of Resident Evil, like you're like, I want to pay this company more money because I like this IP a lot. I ordered that edition as well. If you order the like super legendary deluxe, whatever it's called, edition, then you get an expanded treasure map that adds treasures to your game, and they're like added on the map and stuff like that. But the guy I'm watching thought it just gave you the treasure map for free, and he thought those were the treasures like in the base game. And I'm like screaming at the screen, going like, no, you need to buy the treasure map still. Those aren't the real treasures. You're missing out on so much. Like, no. And he's a strict no backseating policy because it's his first playthrough, which I totally get. But I'm like, that's absolutely one of those things where like I'd want someone to tell me and be like, please, you're basing this on wrong info. Like, they're not going to tell you in game. Like, you need to figure this out. This is your own misconception. But, yeah, just reminded me of that. Oh, this is where the last fairy fountain is, too. Wait, what? Actually, I don't think this is the last fairy fountain. I think this is the horse fountain.
Well, might as well just, while we're in the area.
Well, I think they specifically bring back your dead horses if you get your horse killed.
Damn, from the afterlife?
I guess. I think? What do you do?
Dishonored's afterlife always was, like, super creepy to me.
What's Dishonored's?
But, the heart that you have, she talks about being really cold and that she can't see anything. And so it kind of paints this very dark picture of isn't
the heart the mother? Isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, it's the Empress's heart.
Creepy. Oh, there you are, you son of a bitch.
But, yeah. Oh, yeah. So this fucking cult thing,
Right.
Nick. I've never been so upset because I was just like, as soon as I heard like,
Carlos,
cult in college.
Carlos, you've definitely been that upset. Okay. I know you pretty well. You've definitely been that upset.
Because what I'm about to say is you're gonna be like, wow, that's insane. The shit that really kicked.
That's
like,
insane.
I hate you.
You set me up for it. I'm sorry. Continue.
I hear cult in college. I'm like, oh, this is definitely some white nonsense. But the person who made it into some nonsense was a Dominican dude, and I'm like, dog, and it ruined his whole family. And I'm like, you ain't look around one time and realize, oh, I'm surrounded by white people, impressionable white people. I really need to like not be here right now. And he was just like, oh no, so I can't believe in this, man. I'm like, you lost your damn mind. Nah, it was heartbreaking because the thing is, so how inclined are you to watch this before I get into it?
It's like
honestly,
it's like an off chance, but probably not.
Even me describing it, you kind of gotta watch it to like really grapple with what this fucker did, because like you're gonna be like, this sounds so dumb. How did these people fall for it? Because again, I
want you to break it down for me anyway. But this sounds like it's gonna be a long one. I had a story that I told you I was gonna tell you. Remember?
Oh yes. Oh, you tell your story and then I'll...
Mine's a bit quicker. So I was in a train station within the last week.
Oh yeah.
And I encountered something that I thought was fake. Oh my god, there are two of these fucking white bokoblins here. Oh my god.
Is it because of the DLC? Are they? Do you think
no, I think we're just far enough.
DLC
I think we're just far enough in the game where they're starting to spawn. Like we're like deep enough in the action. Yeah. I think I need to rest until morning here. I'm also not sure. Yeah, what was I gonna say? So I was in the train station and I was waiting there with my lovely girlfriend, and she and we like, so this guy is like trying to, he comes in with a shopping cart and I'm like, oh boy. It's like, it's gonna be one of these. Okay. And I didn't look at what was in the shopping cart because I don't care. It doesn't really matter what's in there. It wasn't like, I didn't think he was homeless. Let me put it that way. Oh, also, I guess a blood moon happened while I was sleeping. That's funny. So he gets there and he starts trying to push the cart in past the turnstiles, and I'm like, and then, like, to myself, I'm like, you can't do that, man. What are you doing? Come on. And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell him anything. I was far enough away where he didn't immediately look to me and like, can you believe this shit? Which sometimes happens, and you have to be like, no, this is you. Like, and but the attendant working there was like, yeah, you can't do that. And he was like, okay. Or he was like, oh, but I like really need to get this through. And then she definitely had a moment of like, I don't get paid enough for this. I don't care. She's like, but then like, then she asked, is that from Target? And he goes, no, that's from, it's from Stop and Shop. And she goes, oh, okay. And I was like, why are we asking this? What is that? How is that relevant to anything that's happening here? to anyone? So he finally like lets him in through like the side entrance thing. And as he's leaving, he's like, oh, thanks. My daughter's really sick. I gotta get her all this cleaning supplies. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. That means one thing. And one thing only. And I never in my life thought I would hear it in real life. I thought that was an exaggeration that people told. I had no idea that was real. And I was like, yo,
yeah, sure, bud.
That's fucked up. Like, for those who don't know, that means he was going to make meth. That is all that means, is that he was going to make meth. Which is wild. I can't believe that happened. I'm going to look up how to give the horse gear, because I think you can only do it in certain stables. It's so fucking annoying, dude. I don't know why this is such a fucking process.
I thought you were about to say, after your meth story, I'm going to look up how to make meth. And I'm like, Nick.
Carlos, I don't need to look it up. I already know. I just choose not to. Tell me about the cult.
Okay. Which is great. This is a great segue about the meth thing.
Good.
Bunch of kids go to a liberal arts college in New York. All different kind of economic backgrounds, but they were living on like they all met freshman year, and then sophomore year they moved to like you know how a lot of college campuses, kind of like where you live in college, of like they have that off-campus housing, but it's really on campus, but it's at the edge of campus, so it's like there's no RA around, there's no public safety going over there, so it's pretty much like, oh, I have my apartment just on campus, you know.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was deep reading.
No worries. So they were staying in apartments on campus, but like at the edge of campus. Still technically university housing,
Sure.
but like they didn't have an RA, no public safety. This one girl who was living, it's like 8 or so people, I forget the exact number. She was like, "Oh, hey, is it cool if my dad kicks it here for like a couple days? He just got out of prison and he needs to get on his feet." And everyone's, because she like talked about how great her dad was all the time, everyone's like, yeah, he can kick it for a couple days. And he shows up, he starts like cooking people dinner every night and like being really nice. So everyone's like really cool with him. Now this girl is dating a guy.
Whoa! In 20, just kidding. Go on.
This is like 2000. This is like 2007, 2000.
Oh yeah, people were straight back then. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so,
good.
This guy like decides to like this guy's also just got a president telling these crazy stories of like, oh yeah, I was in the Marines and stuff, and I met like all these political leaders, and everyone's like, oh, you're bullshitting. And then he starts showing photos of like him and all these political leaders because like he actually knew these people. Granted, what he was telling them, and also this is a point in the internet where people weren't necessarily Googling everything people said back in the day.
Not yet. You couldn't get away with that.
So he was telling them like, oh yeah, yeah, but like he was just like, oh yeah, I worked for these people, and so people like, and again, he had a photo next to these leaders and stuff at events and shit. Everyone's just like, oh, I guess so. And then he was like really into like philosophy to a point, so everyone's just like, oh. This boy goes to him and goes like, hey, like I'm struggling, because again he's a sophomore in college. So he's just struggling in general. He's like, you look like you have a good head on your shoulders. Can you give me some advice? The guy gives him some advice, and the kid just like, for the most part, it was just like, be more confident in yourself. Like you got this. Have faith. Like basic generic advice.
Sure.
And the boy's like, all right, cool. And then there's another girl who apparently is having a real rough go of it. And then all of a sudden the dad makes this bond with this girl who lives in the apartment thing, and she apparently is a lot more positive. So everyone's just like, oh, maybe we should start listening to this guy, because like 2 of our friends seem to like be doing a lot better in life after listening to him. So everyone starts listening to him.
So base level. Yes.
But again, these are young, impressionable kids. Like, what I always keep in mind with shit like this is like,
those kids are dumb.
Kids are dumb, but also it's like all you need is a couple years on like a college kid, and you tell them like, oh yeah, I did this after that, and they're thinking it's all success, I should listen to you. Never like, oh yeah, one time I mismanaged my money so badly that I was eating ramen noodles for a week until my next paycheck came in. Like, they don't understand that like most adults are just figuring it out as we go and trying to like on a fucking train, just rapidly building the track as we go along, and not like, oh no,
I sort of have to imagine this going somewhere at some point.
Yeah, so after the semester ends, they all this guy gets an apartment on the Upper West Side, and they all start like deciding to visit. And then they all decide like, oh, why don't we just stay here? And then one girl was just like, the one smart girl was like, that's creepy. Why would we stay in this guy's apartment? Why wouldn't we just go home? And everyone's just like, oh no. It then slowly became a thing of like, he has them taking like crazy amounts of Adderall to the point where they're not sleeping at all, and then doing all this self-help shit. And then telling them like, in putting so much shit in this tiny apartment, and then saying like, whenever someone would like bump into something of like, you now owe me $25.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so it's so, but like, and then he would like always talk to them like, you need to take accountability for your actions. So like they were guilt, and again, these are dumb kids who are on no sleep, who are not eating well, and there's like videos and recordings of this all. As you can slowly kind of see them like losing it, and they're like at one point, this guy, the Dominican kid, is under the impression he owes this guy $300,000.
Jesus.
And he's hitting up his parents who live in the Bronx to give him money.
And are they
his
like,
parents don't,
no?
No, his parents don't have any money. And again, his parents, sorry, because they're like lower socioeconomic class. They don't have any resources to really verify like, yo, so what? Like, so what? My kid broke some of your shit.
So they just took the word.
Yeah, they also think like, oh, he's probably gonna sue us, and like no one's gonna believe us because he's a white guy who's got photos with political leaders. Who's gonna believe his word over ours? So we should give him this money. So it's just like, it gets even worse and so like this kid. Not only is he pissing off his parents, he brings his like 2 of his sisters involved into this shit, and it's just like. And this guy's like brainwashing like these kids into thinking like, oh yeah, because he went to jail for connections to the mob. He told them he was silenced politically by like this guy who was actually the head of the NYPD during like 9/11. So like he was like, yeah, this guy wanted to get rid of me, and that's why. And they're coming after your families, and your families are working with them to get rid of me and to get rid of you. And so, like, and again, these kids ain't sleeping. They're on Adderall. They're just like...
So here's the big question. What was he actively aware of what he was doing and realized he had the potential to make a cult? Like, this seems like... It doesn't even seem like a slippery slope. It sounds like he went to prison, stayed with his daughter's friend in college, or daughter in college. Already sounds super fucking weird. And then, like, helped out 2 people and was like, you know what? Probably drug and brainwash these kids. Like the jump from there to there, I still can't quite connect. Like,
so the documentary shows you is just like, no, there were rumors about this guy being a fucking whack job to his like divorced wife prior, and that's why like the daughter has this hero status. Is the mother was just like, oh no, he's slowly making my kids crazy. I want you completely out of my life. And then, yeah. And then it's like he had met some guy in prison. The guy's... Oh, yeah. The apartment he stays on the Upper West Side isn't his apartment. It's a guy he met in prison's apartment.
Oh, good.
And then he was just like... He just took it over because he had some of these kids. And he had told the guy, like, when he first started building this connection of like, oh, yeah, I'm building an army to go after this guy.
Wait. Hold on. I understand that this is probably easier to follow in documentary form and not Carlos explanation form.
Yes,
but
he was building up this little cult to go against
the guy who gave him the apartment.
No, just the guy that he thought wronged him, who was the head of NYPD. Even though the guy had, according to all sources, nothing to do with the reason why he went to jail, because that guy was dealing with the Russian mob.
Oh my god!
So it's just like, the whole thing. Is pretty much like, oh yeah, this guy's a fucking just a whack job who thinks everyone's out to get him. And then you gave him a bunch of impressionable college kids, and he was just able to mind jujitsu these kids into like believing whatever nonsense he wanted. So it's just like, and then it's just hilarious. It was like the one hilarious aspect of it to me was just like the way these kids, most of these kids all got out of it was they stopped listening to him. And then all like and also the saddest part was each one of them attempted like suicide by like just
Christ.
Yeah, but like
that's the funny part.
No. The funny part was as soon as they got off the drugs and got away from this guy, like literally like 20 minutes. They're like, as soon as I had 20 minutes away from him in his apartment, I immediately realized, oh, I'm in a crazy situation. I don't need to listen to this guy. I don't know who this man is. I can just go home. And most of them all went home. But like, yeah, it was just, and then he started fucking sex trafficking one of the girls, and then pimping out another one.
Keep it light, Carlos.
Yeah, it's wild. It's only 3 hours, so if you got time to kill, you. I'm just saying, if you're like, oh, I gotta edit spreadsheets today at work, toss that shit in the background.
I have no idea how to do this. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm watching this. Is there a ball somewhere?
I feel like flipping it is the way, like flipping it up, so that I can get some air. There's not a ball. There's a chest. Which
I mean, you could try. I would use the chest.
I don't know if it's gonna be heavy enough. It was kind of like right in the middle of there, so I kind of feel like.
Yeah, but you could at least.
Oh yeah, look at that. There you go. It's that easy.
Puzzle solved, y'all.
Yeah, that was actually surprising. There was one like thing you had to do, and then it was all pretty straightforward from there. Yeah, that's wild. Why do you watch cult documentaries?
Cults are crazy, man.
Do you think so? Because I want to talk about this.
So riveting.
What do you think about the ethical ramifications of basically making documentaries about serial killers, cults, stuff like this? People who went through very traumatic shit.
I'm comfortable with cults. Serial killers is different.
I start to feel like with both of these that they are chasing these so hard and giving them so many ratings, make them so popular that I think there's a non-zero chance they have inspired some copycats. And
Okay,
that shit I find chilling.
so the serial killer stuff, and I'm making this specific distinction between the cults and the serial
Sure.
killers, because my thing is like the serial killers is legitimately the fame aspect of it, as well as they are looking to murder people. Where the cults thing is like, no, these dudes always wanted the attention in and of themselves, as well as in my ideal world, the documentary is at least telling you of like, if you
Here are
see
the
a guy.
dangers. Don't fall for this. Yeah.
Exactly. Where like the serial killer thing is like those victims weren't doing anything wrong other than most of the time with the serial killers like, oh, I tried to help some guy and then he decided to murder me. Where the cult thing is like, oh, I was lost and directionless and then the snake oil salesman got me fucking ruining my savings. Where at least like I can see someone watching the documentary, a cult documentary, and realizing, oh fuck, I think I'm in a cult. I need to change. Like I need to change and get myself out of this. No one's gonna watch the serial killer documentary after running into a serial killer and like be like, I think that guy was a serial killer.
So, hey, wait a minute. Hold on just a second.
But and also the serial killer thing, the more fucked up aspect in my mind is like, you got the victims and their families, and no one ever asked the families for permission about like, oh yeah, we're gonna remind you about this traumatic.
That's also what I was gonna get to.
Where the cult thing, I'm like, no, that person is ideally still alive, and they won't have to deal with that. But there also tends to be a better ending to the cult stories because like this person went to jail, it was justice served.
So I was gonna ask about that. Did you watch the one and only documentary I've ever recommended you watch? Have you watched that yet?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Most likely, have to be more specific about the one documentary I asked you.
Was it the one on Netflix where the guy fucked both the mom and the dad and kidnapped that girl multiple times?
What? Why do
you don't remember?
I do remember this, but I can't.
That's the one in my mind that you told me to watch, and I was just like, "Yo, what the fuck, Nick?"
That was years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot. I watched that. I think I.
You watched that because of Catherine.
So I did watch that because of Catherine, but do you know that we watched it at her house with her mom? Which was so fucking. I think we watched we watched one of them because there was a Hulu and a Netflix one. I think we watched the Netflix one individually, and then I think we watched the one with Is this giving me anything? Any protection here? I genuinely thought this was a way to cool down. Is it because I have the fire thing on my back? I think it is. Let's equip this. Oh wow, that actually worked. Yeah, I increased my resistance. I love that works. That's crazy. Yeah, it turns out don't bring a fire blade into the desert. There's really truly no way we could have known that. So we're just doing our best. Yeah, I do remember the one you're talking about. That was insane. Definitely like an insane, just fucking documentary. But no, the other one is the Tinder swindler.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember if you ever actually watched it.
I watched it with Juliana. Watched it, and I was in the room for like the majority of it.
Oh, good. I specifically asked you to watch it, and you're like, Juliana watched. That's good enough.
No, because I think I'm trying to like also remember if I caught it early enough in it because I remember watching the majority of that thing and being like, God damn, these white women just be falling for nonsense.
That was basically the highlight. I'm just like the reason I like that one is that the entire time I was watching it, I was like, how did anyone fall for this? Like, which I assume some of the cult stuff is the same.
This is actually another great segue to something I've you and me both in loving relationships.
Yes. Where are you going with this?
Have you seen any of the dating discourse that happens on Twitter?
I have, yes.
In social media in general.
It kind of seems like
it's hell on earth for all parties involved.
Yes. Did you see the one that went around a couple days ago? That was
about the girl who was just like, "Oh, name a time and a place."
Yes.
Man, I saw that tweet at like 1 a.m. I woke Juliana up to discuss it because I was like, "No, I need to know if I'm crazy."
Okay, let's back up. Let's back up. Can you find that original tweet and then read it so that we can give it like an unbiased review of it?
Okay.
I think that's pretty important.
Yes, it's in my like so. Cause like, oh, actually, I sent it to Carrie.
Oh, by the way, did you know that there's 2 different ways to do this? I'm pretty sure you can sneak in the back, or you can do it like the way the game kind of like wants you to, which is the like outfit thing. This one, I think I cheated this one.
Oh, this one I remember being like taking me forever.
Yeah, I think you can cheat.
And I encountered it like on the subway. Okay.
If I remember correctly, I think if you have an electric weapon, you can drop it and it'll still charge up the stuff. I think that's how it works.
Warning, friends and lovers, this is a Discord-ass tweet. The caption, before we get into the image that she posted, is he really thought he ate that. F for effort in asking me to travel an hour to have a drink with you at place 2 blocks from your home. Drinks is so he can spend less money, but it's nighttime so he can ask me back to his place. And as if Manhattan doesn't have patios. This is the image. It's a Hinge. Hinge has prompts, from what I've learned.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, a little background for myself, because I think this also colors my reaction to it. I met my loving partner on Bumble, but before like Hinge actually like jumped off. So I had no idea when I read this of like what information this man has of like her location, which is important. Cuz she has this prompt that says the best way to ask me out is by opening with a time and place. Let's save the small talk for dinner. The guy says,
"Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That does not that makes it worse for her, I think." Like
yeah, no, because I'm with you. He names a time. He says 7:30. Drinks next Thursday at a bar in East Williamsburg. Whatever. She responds, "I'll bet $100 that bar is down the street from your apartment, and you didn't give any consideration to the fact that I live on the west side of Manhattan." He said, like, and then he follows it up with, "You'd win $100 in the first part, but I took that all into consideration. I figure you probably don't want to come out to Bushwick often. Next Thursday is going to be gorgeous," which it is. This Thursday is going to be 80 degrees, and this bar has a nice outdoor section. He then texts her number if you change your mind on me being inconsiderate, which I think, to this guy's credit,
that guy saved a really she came at him very combative, and I think he saved it. Truth be told, I genuinely think he had a very difficult response to formulate there, and I think he saved it because he was cordial and he was like, "Sorry that they rubbed you the wrong way. We can try this instead." Okay.
I also my thing with
also I don't know which way you skew on this one, so we'll find that out.
My thing with most dating discourse is y'all both miserable.
Yes,
but I see for my first I see this as someone getting retweeted of "Yo, you're wildin'," and then I was just like, in my mind, because when I met the love of my life, I picked a bar that was close to my home because in my mind it wasn't I can convince her to come have sex with me. My mind was, if this thing's a dud, I can just say, "Oh, there's a fire going on. I need to go," and I can just walk home and I don't have to wait 45 minutes. But also I had I knew Juliana lived close to me, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me to just walk home. But typically when I match with someone and they tell me "Oh, I'm in this borough" or something, I try to meet a happy middle ground so that we're both inconvenienced by travel. We're
both doing a bad job explaining this. Let me back up a second here, because I feel again we're just describing things that we've seen, and it's not a very good audio thing. If that makes sense. Real quick. Let me just give background. Woman has in her bio, "Hey, skip the small talk, just message me time and a place, and we'll go from there." Okay, fine.
Adventurous attitude.
Yes, guy messages just that and says, "Hey, time and a place," And then she goes, I bet you picked a bar down the street from your house. To which he was like, yes. Like, but also I'm open to changing that. Like, a normal human being responds. But, and the discourse comes from some people were like, why did she immediately come off combative and like going against him and stuff like that? If she, it was almost like she was looking for a reason to be angry.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy handled it pretty well by like responding back, but it's just like she posted it like thinking like, oh, this guy thought he was smooth like getting out of this, and I'm like, and the response is pretty much like, yeah, he was. Like he did. He tried to recover the situation, and you were like, no, because like it was almost like she wanted to be mad.
So
and some people accused her of wanting to be mad specifically because like she just wanted the social media engagement.
So I've done some research into this individual.
Okay.
Never a
good sign.
Well, no, because so again, this tweet I saw it like.
Well, so I can say also this in background. I believe her job is
yes.
Yeah, this is where it kind of comes into full play. I believe her job is like dating advice or something like that.
Yes. So her thing is she's a dating influencer,
which
sounds like hell on earth.
It does sound like hell on earth, but also if she can't start a simple conversation.
No. Because
like
if
that's her response to someone asking her out, I don't know that I want her advice.
No. Okay, here's my trying to have both ways. If you are annoyed with him for like choosing a place close to his home, you then cannot have that prompt in your bio.
This is how I feel as well. You don't get to be like, skip the small talk and go like this. I'm like, of course, like it's not crazy to be like, let me pick somewhere close so like if it's bad, I can back out of it. That's not an insane thought. Like
not only that, but when I was in the dating scene, I would choose bars or places that I either knew the menu, so that way if she had any questions, I looked like, oh, I knew what to do. I chose bars also where the bartenders or so knew me, so that way it's just like, oh, hey, can you make her something a little special? So that way you come off as like, oh, this guy's clearly a nice guy. He comes around often. He treats staff well.
It's the basic idea is that if you're gonna put the ball in our court, then we're gonna pick which court. Like that's the.
But not only that, but I'm gonna try to have a frictionless experience where if there's anything, I at least can like if you have an issue, I can solve it or come up with an alternative. Because if she had just been like, hey, I'm on the Upper West Side, can we do somewhere in the middle?
Whatever. This is where the real crux of it is. Like, yes, he picked somewhere close, but instead of being like, I'll bet you pick somewhere like right down the street from yourself, she could have been like, hey, that's a little far. Can we meet in the middle? And that's just a normal human being thing to say, not, I'll bet that's close to your home. And like it's the like gotcha-ism where I'm like, do you want a date?
Like, that's also the other wild
because
thing
by accusing him, ironically, she's not meeting in the middle. She's the one who is just unrelenting in what she's accepting.
Not only that, but like there were a lot of women, and this is where I was just like, oh, this is where I felt vindicated. There were a lot of women who were just like, she was like, yeah, he probably wants to have sex with you. It is a date. That is
this isn't like a shock.
If it all goes well for both parties, this ends in consensual sex. Like, he's not like it'd be what, and like there were a bunch of women there were a bunch of ridiculous people reacting like that don't sound safe. She's going all the way there, like yada yada.
Again, they act like there's no negotiation. Like,
as well, like she did not. She told this man pick a time and a place. She sounded like Dora the Explorer, of like I'm willing to go wherever, and he was just like, cool, I know a nice outdoor bar. It's going to be 80 degrees. And shit, that shit sound lit. Especially the time that he picked. You're going to watch the fucking sunset on the fucking New York City skyline. So, homie knew his spot. And the vibes were probably going to be immaculate. So, she'd feel like, oh, I can, like, chill out and just talk. And best case scenario for them, if the vibes work, cool. Y'all go back. Let it happen. Or, also where he's at, if you don't fuck with this dude, just say, oh, I'm going to leave. And you're in a really cool part of Brooklyn, so you can just go do whatever the hell you want or meet other friends. Because a fun fact about the first time I met my fiance, Juliana had me in it from like a 7 to 9 date. And she had tickets to go to a show with her brother afterwards, and told me straight off the jump, I'm leaving at this time. But because we were having so much fun on our date, she's like, she got up, called her brother, was like, nah, I'm chilling out with him. I'll talk to you later. And we had a fun night.
How'd that work out?
Oh yeah, she did get annoyed with me yesterday for farting too much, but
Jesus Christ. So it did not work out well for her. Is what I'm hearing.
yeah, it worked out great for me, not so much for her. But no, but like
it's
one of the things I hate screenshots from dating apps.
Yes, that feels like a big invasion of privacy. I think I just saw like a different one. I think I saw a different one that I guess when you screenshot on Grindr, at this point, that it blocks out all the text, that just shows the bubbles.
Good.
Yes, that's what I mean. And it's like, and someone wrote, "This is 9/11 for really annoying people." I'm like, that's...
Yes, but also my thing is,
you shouldn't be able to screenshot dating apps. Like I get it. We all have been there when you're dating at the same time as friends. You know, look what this person sent me. Look what this person sent me. And I'm like, but fuck me. Like the fucking influencer vacation of it and everything that happens is awful.
I don't understand why you want to be an influencer of dating, because like
again, it just sounds miserable for everyone involved.
But my thing about dating, ideally,
I fucked up. I'm in the wrong place.
And again, I don't want to say like my happiness should be everyone else's happiness, but I'm like, most people tend to date with the idea of building towards something. Like no one goes on a first date with the idea of I'm gonna go on 7 other first dates. Like I don't think it's a realistic like. With most other influencers, like selling you that highlight, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like if you're a travel influencer, there's kind of in the back of your mind of like, oh, like even when I check, sometimes I'll check a travel influencer because I'm like, oh, I would want to go there. That sounds fun. What am I going to do? Try to date this person that you went on a first date with and then try to use that experience to color my own first date experiences? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is different. So like, oh, okay, wait. Nope, I don't know what's happening. I don't like it though. I would like to stop.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. And then like, I think
Carlo,
people
a little busy. Just a moment.
Wait, what is that purple thing though? Because I do not remember that at all. Do you have to dress up as a woman?
I think you're about to find out.
Oh, yeah. At least you didn't die.
Yeah, silver linings.
Yeah, man, I tried.
Now I'm too cold.
Well, so I'm saying no to that job, so I can tell that story as well.
Oh yeah, do you want to tell that story now? Yeah. Do you want to tell that now?
Actually, yeah. So last week I had an interview with this one place, and on paper it sounded okay. I was just like, I wasn't too enthused. There was a difference in the money and evaluation that I was just like, okay, whatever. I'll see it. As well as, again, when you're unemployed, anything is an upgrade. Because I was just like, worst comes to worst, I accept this. But I had gotten to the point in like right now with 2 other interviews where I'm like, I feel like an offer might come from the other places that I'm not trying to like.
You had better prospects. You weren't gonna
exactly.
It wasn't like you needed to take the job.
But the real kicker was, so one, I have to drive to this place, and it's in a really inconvenient part of New York, and it's like 45 minutes drive both ways, and I'm like, and it's only going to get worse with more traffic.
Snow, uphill. It was just,
and it's right near one of the airports, so I'm like, all I need is something to go wrong, and I'm not getting home forever.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever. And then, like, another horrible thing was, like, I was in the surrounding area. I was like, there ain't nowhere to eat over here. I'm going to have to pack my lunch every day. Like, mad inconvenient.
I love you thinking about these things as you're applying for a new job. Because it is genuinely good things you should be thinking about, but I love that it's your first fucking thought. It's
no,
like, where am I going to get lunch?
And then I'm like, also, there's no subway that gets to that place. So I'm like, again, I'd have to drive it, and I hate driving. And so I'm like, I don't have enough podcasts to listen to fill up the dead air time. So that was annoying to me already. So I get there, and I'm like, whatever. I'm going to put my best foot forward, because also they were like, yeah, after you do an intensive training, depending on how well you do in that training, you can also stay at home.
Cutscene to introduce this, by the way. As if we're not already very familiar with it. As if we haven't met.
I mean, it might also tell you the solution, though.
I know the solution. It's go do the fucking quest, idiot. Like,
oh, yeah. But in this interview, there's two dudes. One dude's like super nice, really cool dude. And then this other guy's just like, he wearing a white shirt with jeans. White button up with jeans. And if you know anything about me, y'all, I'm not gonna respect you for that.
I wear a white button up with jeans at work sometimes.
Like a straight, like a white shirt that you would wear inside of a suit, long sleeve.
The sleeves are rolled up, but
that's different.
And I wear some, and I usually wear an open shirt. Like I have some, not chest. I have another shirt on under.
No. Yeah, I figured, Nick.
I'm not like fucking Fabio. Like,
you've never told me about a meeting you've had with HR, so I'm like, no, but
that is Nick, true. I've never had to meet with HR in any job.
That is very different. That's like you're kind of you're like casual but business. This guy is just like look straight up business on top, too casual on bottom.
Human mullet, got it.
Exactly, and I'm like, why not?
It's not expecting.
Why not? Why not pick a shirt that goes better with your jeans, or just don't wear those jeans? You know, wear khakis. Especially because I'm like, you're pretty high up in this company. You should at least.
I want to isolate that soundbite of you going, wear khakis, and just be like, that's gonna be a new like sub alert. Every time someone subscribes, like, wear khakis, just said with like this very serious tone.
But like. So he's reading over my resume, and the fucking recruiter fucks up and puts my bachelor's degree twice in that shit. And he's like, wait, you have 2 bachelors? And I'm like, no, I have a master's degree and I have a bachelor's. And he's like, all right, so I guess you're not an attention to detail guy. And I'm like, no, that's their error. Here's my resume. And he's just like, all right.
Like, yeah, I've seen enough.
And the other guy's really reasonable and goes, you should talk to the recruiter about that. That's a really dumb mistake on their part. Thank you for clearing it up. And again, the other guy, we're talking, we're gelling fine. This other guy just wants.
This dude sounded like he wanted to fight.
Answers the phone in the middle of fucking in the interview and decides to leave the room. And I'm like, whatever, I'll just chat with the other guy because I don't know what this guy does. And then he comes back. Like, he's gone for a while. He comes back, and then he's just like, so, journalism major, so you're a failed journalist? And I'm like, no, I just was... And usually my thing is whenever someone asks me about why I'm a journalism major, every time, it kills in every interview. I always go, when was the last time you bought a newspaper? That's why I'm doing this. And everyone usually chuckles of like, yeah, no one makes money. And then he's just like, wait, so why didn't you do online journalism?
Like he pushed you further to like ask why you gave up on journalism.
Which, and I was just like,
which is, by the way, in case you guys were having trouble picking up on that, ridiculously unprofessional. Like,
not only that, but I'm like, most interviews, I'm not trying to come across as a hostile asshole.
No,
like I'm,
like you're not gonna fight someone about this stuff because you look like an insane person.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, again, I chuckle it off, and I'm like, again, I love living in New York City, and being a journalist is just not going to give me the structure that I need and sustainability, yada yada. And he goes, and so you never did freelance, and I'm like, all right, buddy, I graduated in 2015. It is 2023. I haven't thought about that shit anymore.
It's like, what are you hoping for out of this conversation?
Like, I was just like, yes. Sometimes I give up when things don't work out.
What do you want? What is your goal here? To like fucking be a dickhead about someone giving up their mate? Like what? Like what's the end goal? like how does this conversation go where it goes like good for you? Like for either you or them. It's just so like, insane.
Also, they're 2 white dudes, so I'm trying not to come off across as like angry black man, because that's again when you're a minority, everything you do becomes a kind of fucking microscope.
Man, tell me about it.
There are so many interviews I leave, and I'm just like,
I can't let him let it go. No, I was kidding. You cannot let Carlos let that go. No, that's. I want him to call me on that. It looks so much worse if he doesn't call me on it. So you absolutely, you got me. You win. I don't want that to be true.
But a lot of times I enter an interview and go, or exit an interview and I go, damn, I really hope them people weren't racist because I think I did a good job. And this is the first time I was just like, oh no, he definitely. And then the offer that they gave me was so small that I was just like, oh. And then he scheduled a call with me yesterday to go over to like try to get me to agree to it. Like, yeah, if you get the bonus, you'll be yada yada. And I was just like, nah, that sounded like mad work, homie. And they kept telling me that was a high workload. And I'm like, what high workload and low pay sounds ideal to anyone?
Yeah,
here?
I was like, this is you trying to get me to work here, right? You're doing a bad job. This is not a typically people sell these.
So yeah, I'm gonna shoot him an email tomorrow morning to be like, yeah, I'm good on all that.
I got so angry when you told me he called you a failed journalist for two reasons. One, that's fucked up. Someone would say that about my friend, and I'm ready to fight this dude. Like, that's really fucked up. Two, and more importantly, I can call you a failed journalist because I'm your best friend, and for someone else to taint that is unacceptable.
Now, the other wild aspect of it, Nick, was like, I got out of the interview and I was just like, why am I like really fucking annoyed right now?
Yeah, because you dealt with a fucking asshole.
And I was just like, and I sat at the car and like you were the first person I texted because I called Juliana first and I was like, oh, the interview went well, but I was just like really annoyed and I was like, am I annoyed because I have to drive? And I was like thinking, no, it was the whole fucking failed journalist thing, and just like, why would you try to like it's again a normal question in an interview is to ask, what were times where you attempted to do something that didn't work and what did you learn from it? Not, so I see here that you majored in this. You fail at that? Walk me through why that didn't work for you. Like, and not like what you learned from it, because my thing was like, oh, I was a journalism major because I love getting to the bottom and attention to detail, shit like that. This guy was like, no, I want to know exactly why you were like, I give up. Oh, man, fuck that guy. Hope his company go down.
Sorry,
I was tempted.
I was taken aback by link brokers. Oh my god! Oh my! This desert's quite warm. Oh.
I do wonder what that cutscene looks like if you don't have the Master Sword.
What do you mean? That's from the past. He had the Master Sword.
Yeah, no. Just wondering if like, if they didn't want to spoil it, you know?
No. They showed right from the beginning that he had the Master Sword.
Okay.
It's not like a secret. I don't remember how to do this part. If that wasn't clear. We could probably wrap this up because we're at an hour. You good for another one?
No, I gotta cook for my woman.
Maybe we'll go another 20 minutes then.
All right, no worries.
Hey, we'll go a little longer if I'm not doing another one.
I'm also free.
You're free tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm free tomorrow, and then free Thursday.
I'm not free Thursday. It's my last time I'm going to see Amy before her marathon.
Jesus, man.
I know. Isn't she fucking cool?
Does she know it's 26 miles?
Does she know what?
I was going to say, does she know it's 26 miles?
Yes, she's very aware. Keenly.
I had a friend who ran a marathon, and I was just like, what do you do with the rest of the day? Because that shit starts early, and then I'm just like, yeah.
Rest of the day? Dude, she's out of commission for a week. She's doing this on her like vacation, which by the way,
you ran a small road trip. I want
to make this clear. She's doing this on her vacation, and I'm like, I wouldn't do this if I had months off. Like,
yeah.
And so she basically planned for her vacation to just be her recuperating, which is understandable. But I'm just like, it's so wild.
Man. That also, that reminds me of my...
Real quick. You make a mechanic where you have to crawl up these guys at a glacial pace, and part of their fucking idle animation is them just slowly moving up. Are you Satan? Why would you program it that way? Why would you do it that way? That's so fucking annoying. Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, I'm so annoyed. It's just like random gameplay choices. Like, this game is beautiful, amazing, genuinely a 10 out of 10. But a couple times, like occasionally, when you have so many game mechanics, some of them I'm just like, why did you do this? Like,
Honestly, I do. I would love like a listicle video of like fantastic video games with just some shit, like just the bottom
I
of the
would
barrel
love that.
mechanics.
Like, can you think of anything off the top of your head where you're like, why is this mechanic in the game?
In Uncharted 4, when they took away the ability for you to throw the grenade back.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, despite it being in the other games, and I was just like, why? Why did you want to do that? That just makes the shooting off balance.
By the way, I love this hack of just equipping a fire or ice weapon whenever I need it. It makes me feel like really smart. I know it shouldn't, but I'm like, this is such a. I like never did this in my other playthroughs, so I'm like, I didn't even know this could work, and I'm so fucking excited by it. Also, I apparently ran by the guy I need to talk to because, of course, I did.
What else? Oh wait, yeah. What we were just. Oh yeah, Amy fucking run 26 miles.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my
She's
favorite.
been training for months, by the way.
Yeah, I bet you can't just do the How I Met Your Mother where Barney just runs the day of.
No.
But that, like, I did cross country in high school, and my friend was like, "Cars, you did cross country. Why don't you like run the marathon with me?" And I'm like, "Cause what am I running from really? You know?"
My favorite thing about Amy running the marathon is that she hates running.
Yeah, I bet. The fuck? After you run 26 miles, she ain't never gonna run again.
She said that. Or she was like, I'm doing this and I'm never fucking doing this again. And I was like,
That is so. That's heavy metal though.
yeah, she's super fucking badass and hardcore.
How much pasta you gonna eat that night?
I'm not doing shit.
Oh, you're not carbo loading at all with her?
No. I'm going to I am gonna go and cheer on though. It'll be fun. That's because I also took a vacation the same week she took her vacation.
I'm just thinking about like after mile 1, and I'd be like, "There's 25 miles left of this shit, dog."
Well, to be fair, she's been training for this by like running. Like she's like I think one of her training weeks like 2 weeks ago was running 21 miles. So like, it's not that crazy at this point. But she's done like half Ks before, and she's done like 5K or like half marathons and 5Ks and stuff like that. But yeah, half K is what I do. But so she's really gotten into it.
She might as well at this point just use it as a form of transportation.
Right? Just run everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, she kind of does that. She commutes everywhere.
She's running?
Well, not running, but yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like it is. I will say it's it's really incredible seeing someone run a marathon because I'm always just like, damn, dog. It is the complete opposite spectrum in my mind of accomplishment. Like if you versus like climbing Mount Everest.
What?
If you climb Mount Everest, you little bitch.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm anti-climbing Mount Everest.
I mean, I'm anti-climbing Mount Everest because
The ethical reasons?
the like, let me put multiple people's lives in danger so that they can hold my hand as I walk up the fucking mountain and leave
Exactly.
dead bodies and fucking trash and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, that's my number one pet peeve, and I'm like, yeah. And now that only really rich people can do that, I'm just like, yeah, you're a fucking jerk. Cut that shit out. Running a marathon, I'm like, yeah, you training, you doing your thing. That's really cool to see. And then I'm also just amazed that like anyone again is willingly doing it. Not like I will murder your mother unless you run 26 miles here. Like no, you were just like I'm gonna do this. I also love again my favorite bit from The Office. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite bits in The Office was when they did an Office 5K, but they did it a straight line away from the office. So when they finished, they were just like, "Oh fuck, now we gotta take a cab back to work."
That is pretty funny.
The race to find the cure. What a weird side mission. Like I get it, but also it's like it's a little. It gets a little phobic in there.
I think it strikes the interesting balance of being slightly phobic while also being. I think it outweighs it. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. I think it's been a while since I've done this section and like actually read the dialogue, but I'm pretty sure like what was definitely conceived as a joke ended up being like some people's like favorite part because they felt seen in a way. And that's the most we're going to talk about it because we are not the people to talk about it.
Yeah, nah.
That is not our. That is not ours to talk about.
Let Link do blackface. I'm there.
What was I going to say? Playing a lot of Resident Evil 4, playing a cool new Pokemon game, but you can't talk about that with you because you don't give a shit. I will say, Maz is the one who turned me onto it, and it's like really fucking good.
I had to. Did I tell you about when
Maz? Here we go. Let's go.
No, did I tell you about? I went to Juliana's cousin's birthday party, and he's really into Pokemon, right? So, or at least I was under the impression he was really into Pokemon.
Why do you say Pokemon?
Likes,
you don't say. I can't describe why you say it
wrong. I don't know why.
I can't articulate why it's wrong. It doesn't sound right when you say it. Say it again.
Sounds like a slur.
Say it.
Pokemon. Pokemon.
You're not even that far off, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't sound right. I can't tell you why.
No, it's because in the show they say it in that way. But I remember when I watched the show as a kid, being like, "That's not how people say it," and then making it into a joke of me saying it that way to the point where now I can't unwire me from saying it that way.
Do you remember Donald Glover's joke in his stand-up? It's like that. It's like, oh, I know we can't. You sound so hateful.
But yeah. So he gets like a shit ton of cards from his aunts and uncles, and he's like tearing open the packs, and like I'm just sitting with him. He's like 8. I think he turned 8.
So too old for Pokemon. Okay, got
it. And so he's just like, "Oh, Carlos, can you help me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I start opening the packs, and then I'm sorting them by color and type and shit. So that way I'm like thinking that, oh, he's gonna put away the cards so that way he can play, as well as like figure out what cards he really likes. And this way, because he got like 150 cards, and this way I in my mind I was like, this will make it easier for him to figure out the cards he wants and the cards he don't, because other than like the hieroglyphic cards or the shiny cards, I don't really know what the fuck he's looking for. Again, I never played the card game growing up like that. Again, I was like him. I just had the cards to have the cards, and then I never actually like sat down to play the game. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, where I'm like, I've sat down, I played the game, I understand how to build the deck, relatively. And then he just straight up looked at me and was like, "Carlos, I don't care about any of those cards. I only want the shiny ones so that way I can trade them." And I'm like, "Yeah, but like you can play this." I was like, this is an actual game. We could play the game. There's enough cards here that we could. He's just like, no.
People, I think Pokemon is a special one where there are far more collectors than there are players.
And I'm like, low key, that's really lame.
You think that's lame?
I think it's lame to not want to play the card game.
Shut the fuck up. You are blowing up our spot, Carlos. You need to think about the fucking audience of these videos. Some of which are Pokemon card collectors who probably don't play the game. Don't get me in trouble, you stupid prick. You do this all the time.
Okay, y'all can just tweet at me if you have a problem. Nick is not co-signing these statements.
I am not. I agree. I'm definitely not.
Feel free to hate me all you want. You can hate me now, but I won't stop now.
Oh boy, how do we recover from that? I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's also like, it's like people who collect a bunch of cars, and I'm like, you can only drive one.
Yeah. Try telling that to his Bugatti, Carlos, or whatever that fucking. Did you see the one where somebody was like defending Andrew Tate, and he's like, "Did you just flex another man's Bugatti?" He's like, he can't. It's like, yeah, you're making fun of him now, but he's the one who has. Who has this car? And somebody was like, "Why are you defending someone else's car, or like flexing with someone else's car? You fucking weirdo!" Like,
that reminds me of what we discussed on Sunday when I asked you about punching someone in the face because they called you a bitch.
Oh my god, we should talk about that. We're gonna have to talk about that tomorrow. That's gonna be a long conversation.
Yeah, that's gonna be. We're gonna really peel back the layers.
Yes.
I'm always here for people getting punched in the face.
I agree that more people should get punched in the face. But I also think that there are some people who punch people in the face too easily.
Yeah. I think
there's a balance to strike.
You have to have clear standards for what's a punchable in the, like, punching someone in the face, as well as you should really only be punching people in the face because there's a problem here and the proper authorities are not handling it, so you have to handle it yourself. That's my...
Again, I feel like we're going to talk about this a lot. Carlos and I basically have two... no, it's tomorrow.
All right.
It's because I keep thinking about it and I'm like, no, it's going to be a long conversation.
We gonna get into it.
It's multi-parts, multifaceted.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait to call my uncle tonight. I'm gonna talk cash shit to him. He would tell me my team were sorry. He wasn't like that, and I was just like, them niggas was bums. Do you believe it? Nobody takes me thinks I know ball, but I know ball. And when I see some.
What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, soccer. I got another note. The highlights just dropped on YouTube, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call my uncle, because he was telling me when the initial draw went out of oh, these two teams are gonna play each other. He was just like, oh, so you guys are gonna lose, right? And I was just like, in what world do you think we lose into some German bitches? Never that, dog.
Jesus.
Never that.
I need to find a woman who has son at the end of her name.
Don't we all?
No, we just got through talking about this. We're both very happily with our partners.
Just name a time in the place.
What? Outright, yeah. Jesus. I don't know where they are. I want to end the video on finding the woman who has son at the end of her name. I think she's supposed to be a tailor. Do I have a quest for this? I don't think I do.
Oh yeah, that's my one beef with Elden Ring is that it doesn't really tell you your quests.
No, you don't know shit about about Elden Ring. They're not telling you anything.
I just be solving shit by accident, and I'm like, oh well, shout out to me.
Gerudo skilled at sewing. Is there someone in here? No. If you're a member of what? What? Huh? Sorry, what were you saying about Elden Ring?
Oh yeah. Also, I understand why you also dropped it, because as soon as I got out of Stormville Castle, I was just like, well, I don't really think I need to continue on. I beat a.
I got what I needed.
I was like, I beat a really hard boss, and you're telling me that I've heard that there's 15 dungeons. Isn't it just gonna be fighting people very difficultly, often? And
actually.
My one beef is now that I'm getting I remember when I texted you oh, I just lost 3,000 runes.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, 3,000, huh?
Nick, when I died to 8,000 runes last night, I almost uninstalled the game.
That's so little still.
I know, but it's just the principle of oh my god. Hey, the more annoying aspect
have you tried not dying before you pick up your runes? It feels pretty simple to me.
No, here's the more annoying aspect of it is I know the place where exactly I'm dying is at a point where the site of grace is up a ledge, but you can only go up the ledge, you can never go back down. So you either have to fight your way back to where that was, and the first time I went through it, I battled, had an inch of health, got to the next site of grace, and was like, oh, I'll come down and go get that item that I left back there, thinking oh, I can just... There's definitely a ladder somewhere that I can just go down and get that shit. And do that fight, because I could see that there was a big fight ahead, but I was like, let me just go right here instead of going straight, so that way I can live. And then it was like, no, dog. I kept trying to get down there, and I was like, no, you're going to have to fight your way back. And it's slowly, as I kill more and more of them, and I push it closer and closer, I'm like, this fucking bucket is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm going to lose it. And I know that I'm going to lose it. And I'm like, if I could just go backwards from that site of grace, I could do the fight, get the item, and keep pushing.
Just win, forehead. Carlos, you have to remember, this is where the term get good came from.
Yeah, and
And you proceeded to not get good. I don't know what to tell you.
I think every Demon Souls, Dark Souls fan, everything I've ever said badly about them, though, has been vindicated by me playing this game.
What do you mean?
Just the way I the way in which I've been interpreting this game is like, why would you be an asshole to other people? Of like, yeah, dog, you just need to get better. And I'm like, nah, this game is cheap as fuck. Why not we can all call a spade and be like, oh, here's some helpful tips. Like, I think you got this, man, and not you suck. Why don't you just quit this game? This game's for real gamers. It's not for real gamers. You know what Elden Ring actually is, though? A really fun stealth open world game, because that's how I fucking play that shit. That's actually how I got through most of Stormville Castle. Was
I got through Stormville Castle because you called a human player who was much better at the game than you were.
No. I know I didn't. I did not. I snuck through most of that shit. Because you only have to kill like 3 enemies once you've unlocked all the Sites of Graces there. So as soon as I figured that out and then I leveled up appropriately, I just was able to like get to the final boss, because there's a nice Site of Grace right next to that boss. And then from there I was just like, all right, cool, let's shoot the fair one. And I can handle the bosses are fine. It's really when like there's 3 enemies I'm like, I'm overwhelmed and I can't summon anything.
I mean, the whole draw of that game is the bosses. Like,
yeah, I get that. The bosses are really cool, especially when that motherfucker cut off his arm.
It's just going from one boss to another. That's the peak part of that game. I wonder if they're not.
Yeah, I don't understand how people are playing this game without the summons though, because I'm like, nah.
Yeah, people who play without summons also enjoy cock and ball torture, so you can't really trust them. That's a bit too hardcore for me, man. But it's also a level of hardcore where you're like, yeah, isn't this hardcore? I'm like, I maybe. It kind of just seems extreme to me. Like, it just seems like I just wouldn't do that. I get it though, to an extent. I don't know where the fuck this person is. I'm gonna look it up. My goal in all of these is to not have to look things up, and then I inevitably have to look them up. And I don't enjoy it.
Don't worry, I'm a big proponent of looking shit up.
Yeah, not when you're recording, because then I have to stop the video, and I can't edit this out when I'm recording with you.
Just change screen. Just change.
Yeah. And just put like the clock fade, like it's like, and now we're here. It's not my thing. Can't do it. Got too much pride in the line. Hey Carlos, you know my other favorite thing when I have to look something up is me having to vamp as I'm reading.
I love it.
I love it. It's the most basic courtesy you could give of just like, hey, Nick's busy. So
what have you learned from me about basic decency?
You
don't against that shit. Yeah.
I keep.
Some lady did follow me on the subway today though, and I was just like, damn, that's mad embarrassing for you. I did ask her if she was okay, and she was okay, but I was just like, damn, girl, you almost fell on me. Everyone saw that shit. Now you're going to have to go the rest of your day knowing that you almost fell on a stranger.
You're a bad person. I think you're just
a bad person.
Let's see. Wow. Thanks, IGN. This article's trash. It's just like, okay, hey.
That sounds like IGN.
IGN is like, hey, here's this article on Terrytown. I'm like, okay, thank you. It's like, how about that quest to start Terrytown? They're like, yeah. And you click on it. It's like, for more information on Terrytown, click our article on Terrytown. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Tell me where to go next, you stupid prick. That's what I'm trying to look for. I know where I am. I just need to move on. Oh my God.
I hate also that so many of these places now are just putting a YouTube link.
Oh, that
and I'm
nothing drives me crazier.
I'm like, I don't want to commit too much for that.
Also, here's one. Ronson, a Gerudo woman from the Karakara Bazaar, is in the Gerudo Desert. Is the third employee to join. She's a seamstress who makes and sells the Desert Foe set. Hey, thanks. Where the fuck is she? That's what I'm looking for. I don't need to know that she's in the fucking Gerudo town. No shit. You don't say.
Sometimes though I'm amazed though about people who write guides. Like, oh man, I can't imagine figuring some of this shit.
There are some really, really talented guide writers out there, and that's not a joke. There are some very, very like good people who write these guides. There's a dude called Cyrix Z, who has written the guide for every single Yakuza game, to the point of like when one comes out, people will be like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, and eventually Cyrix Z will write a guide, and I'll know like the best method to do it. And it's like he's known in the community. And I'm like, that's a point you gotta get to, right? Of like, you're like a status of like, even if I don't have the answer, I know Sirix's got the answer for me.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's respect in being an expert. It kind of reminds me how a fun joke that used to go around when Colin Moriarty was not so like toxic was that they used to make fun of him because for a lot of his game guides he used to have like this guide is dedicated to those we lost on 9/11, and it's like Mega Man.
God, dude,
I'm like I get it, but also I'm just like, nah, dog.
Get it.
You didn't need to make. You're harshing the vibes for everyone involved here.
That's like really weird.
It'll never be fun. It's never not funny to me that he just fucking pissed that kind of funny money away just for a dumbass tweet.
I don't remember it was a Trump tweet, right? I don't remember at this point what it was.
It was women's it was women's day, and he was just like, "Oh, there's no women here, so it's silent and some shit." And
it's just like the fucking corniest fucking response you could possibly give. Yeah. Imagine ruining the bag for something like that.
And then Greg Miller had to come out and was like, "Yeah, you have to go."
Like you lost. You had an opportunity here, and you've lost it.
Say what you will about Greg Miller, he will not drop the bag, even though he almost pissed off the entire country of Bolivia.
He what?
When when Ghost Recon Wildlands came out, I think it's Wildlands. It's one of them Ghost Recon games that's set in Bolivia. The Bolivian government was just like, Ubisoft, do not put this nonsense out. It's really fucked up to say that we're a country overrun by drug cartels. And then Greg and Colin were just like, who gives a fuck about Bolivia? So what, you're run by drug cartels? And Bolivians were like, yo. And that's a video that is secretly just like, you can't find it anymore on that YouTube channel. It only survives via Twitter videos because Greg Miller ain't letting nobody stop him getting a check.
I mean, I respect it.
I can't hate it. You know you fucked up. Just
have I ever
issue a statement, delete it.
Have I ever told you my my Greg Miller story?
Did he do something fucking wild?
Yes, but not in a bad way.
Okay.
I went to PAX 2013. Spencer wanted to watch that Kind of Funny. Kind of Funny had like just formed.
Okay.
Spencer knew him from the IGN days because Spencer's a fossil and he knows all the time. So
I used to listen to Greg Miller's PlayStation podcast.
But yeah. So Spencer. I went to PAX with Spencer that year, and he was like, "Let's go to this panel." I was like, "Yeah, I like panels. Sure, let's do it." And we get there, and like there's some like memes and jokes and stuff like that, and they get to the Q&A part, and a dude comes up to the microphone and goes, "Hey, first I just want to say your videos got me through like a really, really dark place. I was having a lot of real depression, kind of like stuff like that, and your videos like really helped me pull through and go on the other side." I've seen stuff like this before. I've been to other panels and stuff like that. Some people say things along that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. But then Greg Miller said, "First of all, you matter, and the world is a better place that you're here." And then he got down from the panel, went down to the dude, and gave him a hug, and a long hug. And he was clearly like talking to him like in his ear as he was talking about it. I was like, whoa. He like really like he put his whole chest out. Like he was like, no, he came out there like a question that I had become jaded to, or like a thing because I'd seen it before. I've just been to other like people's like panels and stuff like that, and I was like, oh fuck, that Greg Miller dude, he cares. That dude is genuine. And I was like, Jesus. Like even if that was a performance, which I don't think it was, I'm still like, holy fuck.
I can't hate on him for that.
That's impressive.
He's one of the few like.
That's
the
real.
rumors I've heard about him. The only negative thing I've heard about Greg Miller has always been that he will do what he needs to do to get a bag, but it's never like he wasn't thrown out with the rest of IG when IGN had to get rid of the old guard because they were like fucking hostile and out here doing all the sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, man, game journalism is wild.
Journalism is wild.
Hey, man. As a failed journalist...
Do you say, I'm glad you found her?
I would keep... No, I said as a failed journalist. Oh, I did say that. I'm gonna start. I should change my Twitter handle to that.
The failed journalist. Just lean into it.
Make that my identity.
Hey, we got her.
Populating the place with women. Shout out to her.
Is that populating?
I mean, it's a person.
Or is that just we got one woman? What do you mean?
I mean, one to set the vibes, and then they'll find more people.
One to set the vibes. What do you mean?
Yeah, make it a more positive environment.
There's like 3 people there right now. What do you mean positive environment? It's one dude and 2 Gorons. Like,
hey man, that's the positive environment.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're gonna dig into this. By that logic, women are a fourth of the population there. That's not bad.
I hate you. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it's the first step to progress.
I guess.
Yeah, you can
Also,
only say that.
I wonder if they yell at you if you try and climb over. I've never actually tried that. I bet you could do it though. I kind of want to try and sneak in here, but I also don't. But yeah, we'll call it there. We'll tackle more of this in the next part. I'm glad we did make more progress though, because I was definitely like, holy fuck, I've spent so long on this horse thing and I have nothing to show for it. So I'm glad that we fixed that.
And we'll have the Divine Beast next time.
Hopefully. We've got 2 quests we have to do with this one. We have to recover the Thunder Helm, and then we have to like actually track down the beast and do like a thing with the sand seals. I don't really remember it. And also the Great Fairy is in the bottom left corner here, so we should find that. But yeah, that's gonna be it on this one. I will see Carlos tomorrow, and the rest of you, I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
All right.